It's simply to share what I feel is relevant right now as women for things to do at nighttime, to go into deep rest, which is going to be regenerative for us as we sleep, because the state that we go to sleep in is the state that our body digests and rests in and regenerates in. So going to bed in a state of chaos and fear is going to rest and digest our cells in our body in fear. Okay? So I've broken it out into outer body. This is what came to me. Inner and emotional body. And ingest and digest. So what I recommend you guys do is, if you want to take notes, go for it. If you don't feel like taking notes because you've had a day and you just want to listen and enjoy, do that too. I just started recording after the meditation when I started speaking. So if you want to come back to it, I'll be emailing you the link, okay? What I suggest is that you pick maybe 1 to 3 things that really resonate with you that you think you could introduce into your evening routine. No more. Start with 1, 2, or 3. Because the last thing you want to do is get overwhelmed. It's like when people start with oils, I always tell them, it's okay, it's good to have the whole kit in front of you, but let's start with 1 or 2 so that you can really get into routine with it and feel good about it and feel really proud of yourself instead of feeling overwhelmed and pushing it aside. So I always recommend picking 1 thing to do every night for your nighttime ritual for 21 days, because it takes about 21 to 30 days to really be able to form a habit. And which isn't that long if you think about it. And then add something else on if you feel called to. And you can always come back to this video and to your notes to see what you want to add on. And the great thing about that is that we're ever evolving and we're ever shifting and we're ever changing. So it's good to not choose everything now and pick as you go along. I also want to invite you guys to consider letting go of really high expectations of yourselves right now. We're all going through a lot. And right now, I am 100% working towards embracing complete and utter imperfection. And telling myself I'm doing a good job. And for those of you who follow me and who know my the deeper meaning of my messaging, in January, I had a really big aha moment when I was sitting on the beach. And I thought to myself, wow, I have had an incredible go with self-care for the last 12 years. I've really done a good job of taking care of myself. But you know what I realized? I didn't love myself. It was a really big aha moment for me. I got super vulnerable with myself, with my loved ones, and I told them, and I told myself, and I started to really dig deeper into why I thought self-care was enough to feel truly joyful in the moments of joy, to feel truly peaceful in the everyday moments, instead of always seeking for something to make me peaceful. So what I've been practicing is a lot more self-love. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to teach you guys on this topic tonight, is because a lot of my self-love rituals take place at night before bedtime. I'm doing a good job. Self-love, I'm doing a good job. Instead of going through the laundry list of things I didn't accomplish today, all the things I don't like about my body, the things that bug me about A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I'm doing a good job. All is well. I can do this. I fully and completely love and accept myself. So in starting with the outer body rituals, I've broken it down into face, bath, shower, body, hair, pain, feet, hands, etc. So I'm going to go through them. Let me know if you have any questions or pop them into the comments. So for my My favorite thing to start with is the bath and the shower. Who doesn't love a good bath or a good shower? Now, I had a yoga teacher tell me about 10 years ago, her name's Sean Korn. She said, do you know how much energy you carry in your hair? I was like, no. And she said, you collect other people's energy all day long in your hair. And this is from a woman who literally, if you guys know Sean Korn, she has the biggest hair you've ever seen. It's so beautiful. It's curly and wild and crazy. And so from that point on, I decided, wow, I really need to, address this. Further to that, I decided that I really like the idea of washing my body before I go to bed instead of washing my body when I wake up. So I go into bed, I've cleansed off my day, and everything's off of me before I get into bed instead of taking all of that to bed with me. It's one thing that's worked really well for me. So when you're in the shower, have some extra oils in your shower. So I love to have wild orange, tangerine, easy air, and lavender. Those are my favorites. I have an extra set in my shower on the shelf. When I get in the shower and I turn it on, I like super hot showers. I know it's like really cool to be like doing cold showers, but I'm not there yet. So I like super hot showers. I don't have a steam, so I make my own steam. Pour a couple drops, like maybe 3 or 4 drops of tangerine, 2 drops of lavender to taste. Start with 1, then work your way up, because the doTERRA oils are quite potent because they're therapeutic grade. And create your own steam experience in the shower. I have some great, I do that in the mornings too. I have eucalyptus in the shower in the mornings, but we're only talking about night, so I'm not going to digress. I have 3 baths that are my go-tos. I probably have 1 to 3 baths a week at nighttime. I have a great PMS relief bath. We'll get to PMS in a couple of minutes, and hormones in general. I have a great honey and cocoa bath and a sweet dreams bath. So I'll show you guys my resources. The PMS bath is from the Essential Oils Hormone Solution. It's on page 164. And it has clary sage, Roman chamomile, geranium, and lavender. So 1 drop of everything except clary sage is 2 drops. But that's in this book here if you have this book. I will send you guys these recipes in an email, okay? To make life easy for you. The honey and cocoa bath is from this book that was gifted to me. Look, a book that was gifted to me by a dear friend of mine who works for the publishing company. It's called Essential Wellbeing. And it's a modern guide to using essential oils in beauty, body, and home rituals. So this book was written by a very intelligent woman named Sarah Panton. She started the oil company called Vitruvi. So what I will tell you is if you do use this book, make sure the amount of oils that she's telling you to use, you go in a quarter of what she would use, okay? So doTERRA is a lot more, it's a lot stronger than the oils that she's using, so just know that. The honey and cocoa bath is in here. It's really fun. I did it last night. The kids loved it. They did it too. It's 1 cup of organic canned full-fat coconut milk, 2 tablespoons of liquid organic honey, lavender, cedarwood, and geranium. How fun is that? So fun. And what you do is when you're in the bath, which I like in the wintertime, is the coconut oil adheres to your skin because it's like the chunky coconut oil that comes out of the tin, right? So you can rub it into your skin when you get out of the shower and you just like have a nice, really hydrated, glowy feeling, and mixed in with all the oils, it's amazing. And then the other bath, it's called the Sweet Dreams Sweet Almond Bath Oil. It has sweet almond oil, so you can get sweet almond oil at any organic grocer. Lavender, rosemary, and cedarwood. Yeah. And it says here, let her sleep, for when she wakes, she will move mountains. Oh, yeah. So I'll move on to body. I love a good dry brush. To be honest, I'm not the greatest at remembering. Even if I put my dry brush in front of my sink, I still don't notice it. It hasn't become habit for me. I do it about once a month. I would say once a week would be really good. Twice a week would be excellent. Dry brushing is really great for lymphatic drainage and moving the lymph through your body. There's some great videos online on how to dry brush. So if you've never dry brushed before, I'd recommend looking up on YouTube how to dry brush, because it's a very specific way. But essentially what you want to do is you always want to be going in circular motions and towards the armpits, okay? Away from the heart. And the one oil that I love for dry brushing is pink pepper by doTERRA. It's wonderful. It's got a really nice spicy feel to it. And I find it very invigorating, but at the same time relaxing. Like, it really calms down my nervous system. I love it. I love to moisturize. I didn't used to love moisturizing until I found the oils. There's 2 ways I moisturize. One is with the Beautiful Mist by doTERRA. I love it because it's in a spritz bottle. It's mixed with coconut oil. The Beautiful blend is off the hook. If you have not smelled it, it is out of control good. I also love it because no matter which direction you tip the bottle, it sprays. So easy. So I actually spray my chest, my décolletage, every night with the Beautiful. And then also any unscented natural body lotion is amazing. And what I love about it, doTERRA does one, it's the one in the big turquoise bottle or whatever one you have on hand, is that it's basically like make your own moisturizer every night. You're not stuck with one scent that you buy like you used to at the grocery store. So you can pick lavender, you can pick geranium, you can pick frankincense, you can mix them, you can do a different oil for each limb, whatever you feel like. Yes, I've done that. Hair. There's a really great recipe that I have been using for a hydrating Sunday hair mask. It sounds very luxurious and like something that you don't have time for. I didn't have time for it either, and then I did it once and I made time for it. It is so good. And the great thing about it is you just apply the whole thing in your hair and just like put your hair in a braid or in a really tight bun and then go about doing whatever you're doing. Have a cup of tea, put a face mask on, watch a show, read a book, whatever you want to do. For those of you who have thin hair like me, you want to rinse it out. For those of you who have like thicker, more coarse hair, you can actually leave it in. You don't have to wash it out. That recipe is also in this book, and I'll give you guys the recipe. I'll give you a little, it's a hydrating hair mask to finish off the week. Sweet almond oil, avocado oil, solid virgin coconut oil. And again, like it's like, oh, don't have that, don't have that, don't have that. But what I find with these sort of rituals is that once you buy them once, they last a really long time, and then you have them on hand for whichever recipe in the book calls for it. Rosemary, cedarwood, and peppermint. How good would peppermint feel in your hair? The other thing that I love is the doTERRA hair serum. Have any of you guys tried that one? So I use that one. I find it really, really easy. So unlike the hair mask, I saw a lot of you going like, how would I ever have time to do a hair mask? The hair serum is really great. I find that the aroma of the hair serum is very calming and really feels good on the scalp. It's almost like cool. So most times, like when I wash my hair, I'll use the hair serum and I'll just put 2 pumps in my hand, and I'll just put it all over my hair in my roots, and then I'll do my ends. And the trick about the hair serum is that it is the most amazing detangler for us, but also for, hi Kashel's mom. How are you? So good to see you. I know about you. I don't know if you know about me, but I know all about you, and I've sent you so much love. So the hair mask, Jonathan, the hair mask is great for the kids. I don't use detangler on my kids anymore. I use the hair oil. They actually do it on themselves. It's awesome. The other thing you can do is you can put rosemary in your shampoo. So just take your shampoo in your hand like normal, and then put 1 or 2 drops of rosemary. And it's great for itchy scalp. It's great for hair growth. It's good for dandruff, and it's really good for like nourishing the hair follicle. So anybody who is using Head and Shoulders, maybe you want to think about sort of not doing that and making your way towards a more natural shampoo and adding rosemary. It would be a good start for a night ritual. Pain. So any kind of body pain that you're experiencing, it's great to address it at nighttime because, again, when we go to sleep, that's when we're resting and digesting. So really, I'll never forget the moment that one of my yoga teachers told me. She said, "Emily, why don't you consider welcoming your pain, talking to it with loving kindness, and telling it that you're going to get through it together instead of pushing it away and making it feel hated and unwelcome in your body." And for someone who grew up in quite a bit of pain physically on the regular, that was a pretty big aha moment for me. So most nights, wherever I'm feeling pain, whether it's my right shoulder, my sacrum, my glutes, my calves, depending on what workout I did or what state my body's in, I will take a moment. And by a moment, I mean 25 seconds max. I'll pop some deep blue rub in my hand and I'll mix it with frankincense, helichrysum, insert amazing for pain, and marjoram. I'll mix those and I'll put it on whatever area is in pain. And instead of having a hate on for the pain, I'll give it the airtime that it deserves. I'll give it a little bit of love. I'll talk to it in a really positive way. I do it out loud because my family's used to me being crazy, so it's fine. And for me, it's not crazy. That's what I want my kids to do, so why wouldn't I do it? The other great thing for pain is there's a really good, for those of you who may or may not have the Yoga Glow app, there's a really great woman named Tiffany Cruikshank. She has a 3-part series that deals with releasing neck pain, releasing lower back and hip pain, and legs. So there's 3 different ones. They're each half an hour. I've had a lot of success with doing those later in the evening because I find it really releases stress out of my body. And sometimes I'm so amplified, my energy is so amped that doing something really lunar like meditating or restorative yoga, I can't get there. I'm too amplified. I need to do something either in place of, because it's really hard to go from here to here. And I find what her work does is it helps me come down in amplitude, but also relieve pain, but also really relax my body. So I really love her practices at nighttime. And tapping for pain too. So those of you who know me know that I'm a big tapper. So if you haven't heard of tapping, we did a little bit of tapping already on this call. Traditional tapping can be found on an awesome app. It's called The Tapping Solution with Nick Ortner. And what tapping is it's an emotional, an emotional freedom technique, EFT. And what it does is you tap on certain points. So you start with your karate chop point, and then you go to your eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, under the mouth, collarbone, under the arm, top of the head. And I like the app because for the first couple of times you can follow it and it lights on the person's face and body where you're supposed to tap. They also say it, and it's like a library of things that you could tap on. So every day you get to really zero in on, and I find that's really important to really be able to take a moment, Zero in on your emotion or your physical sensation. Find that in the tapping app and tap on it. Instead of doing something more general and trying to get something out of it, I find the getting really hyper specific on how you're feeling is a win. And then tapping it out of your body. Really great. So any kind of physical pain is great for tapping, but there's so many other things that you can tap for. And in this case, for this call, tapping for deep sleep is really good. I've been doing that one a lot on their app. Super simple. And a really great thing to do before you go to bed, to get into that nice resonance for sleep and that shifted mindset for sleep. So I have some oils that I call my bedside oils. I use them every night. They do change, but these ones don't really change. So I've kept it really simple for you guys. Frankincense and rose go on my spine every night, the rollers. The resonance of rose is really powerful for your immune system and also for your central nervous system. It's also the queen of oils. The resonance of rose is the highest resonance. It has the highest frequency of any plant essence. Frankincense is for cellular regeneration on a physical level, on an emotional level. It's the oil of truth. So I love the idea of bringing myself into love with rose. It's the oil of divine love. And truth, bringing myself into my truth before I go to sleep. Great on the kids, those two. The Forgive Roller, it's part of the Emotional Aromatherapy collection. This one has stuck with me. It's very sprucey and woodsy, so it's very grounding. Smells like a really beautiful forest walk. I actually can't even imagine walking through a forest that smelled like that. I might die in heaven. I take the roller, I go in between my breasts. I go under my breasts. I go over my heart. I go on my wrist points and sometimes my inner elbows, whether I have long sleeve pajamas on or not. It's really, that's the determining factor. And I just forgive. Mostly myself for the mean things that my ego or my mind said to me most of the day. That's pretty much what I'm forgiving at the end of the day, not others, myself. Mm-hmm. And I have a little ritual for my feet before I go to sleep. It depends on how I'm feeling. So again, this is a great way for you to touch base with how you're feeling. How am I feeling? There's so many opportunities in these rituals that take so little time for you to tap into how you're feeling, because you matter. You really matter. Your feelings matter. And how you feel matters. Right? Back to, oh, that's why we did this. There it is. So if I'm not feeling great, if I have a tickle in my throat, if my throat is sore, if I haven't, if I've been really pushing myself, and I feel like there's a possibility that I'm getting sick, or if I'm really exhausted, I'll put oregano on my feet, the oregano roller, coat the whole bottoms of my feet, and oregano is pretty strong and smelly. I actually love the smell, but I didn't for a long time. And I'll put that on my feet, and I'll put socks on top, and then go to bed. Sometimes I'll do 1 foot on guard, 1 foot oregano. I'm really big into like different oil for different foot. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't know how to say that properly. So another combination that I love to do is 1 foot adaptive, 1 foot balance. So adaptive was formulated for, I have it right here. It's the calming blend. It was formulated for feelings of anxiousness, depression, overwhelm, and balance, very similar to forgive, but in a very different way, is a tree oil and is very grounding. It's a grounding blend. If you decide to invest in this book, it's really like, it just feels good reading this book. There's a really nice peppermint and ginger foot soak in here. I'm not gonna lie, I've only done it twice, but when I did it, it was amazing. And it's pretty simple. All you need is some fresh ginger and peppermint oil. And then you can also, which I kind of added in, is if you have little rocks, like little smooth stones, you can put little smooth stones on the bottom so your feet are getting a nice little massage. But that's a really nice ritual. You could do it with your hair mask once a quarter. Treat yourself. Hands. Every night I use the rose hand lotion on my hands. I get really dry hands in the wintertime. I love the smell of the rose. I also love that every single dollar that you pay for that product goes to the Healing Hands Foundation, which is one of doTERRA's many do good propositions. It's a big one too. So I love buying that rose hand lotion. I make my own cuticle oil. I started using for those of you who don't want to make your own cuticle oil, I understand. Totally get it. Took me a long time to get there. I like the frankincense roller on my nail beds before bed. So I'll do the frankincense roller on my nail beds and then put the rose hand lotion on top. It's really good for nail strength and your cuticles and all the things, dryness. But in this book, again, there is a really nice cuticle oil. And you just buy a little 2 ml dropper bottle, and you put the oils in it, and you have it bedside, and you do your little cuticle oil. It's really fun. I'll give you guys that recipe too. It's a nice one. So we're going to move into mind, inner body, emotional body. Really, they're all the same thing. All the things that I apply on my outer body is working on my inner body. But we're going to talk about things on the inside now. So I always have on my bedside Serenity capsules, adaptive capsules, Copaiba capsules, Digest Zen capsules, and Digest Zen tablets. Yes, it's 5 things. Zengest capsules and tablets. The tablets, if you haven't heard of them, they're available in the US warehouse, which is super easy to buy from. They're basically the replacement of Tums. They're like little white chalky things like Tums, but they have the Digest Zen / Zengest, if you're in Canada, oil in them. In case I go to bed and my tummy's not feeling great, I'll use both of those. Now, every single night I do 1 or 2 Serenity capsules, 1 or 2 Copaiba capsules, or Copaiba, depending on how you say it. I kind of alternate, I don't know why. And 1 adaptive. So I take an adaptive capsule in the morning, first thing, and I take an adaptive capsule at night. Okay? The Serenity capsule is for calm and relaxation. It's internal, it's amazing. The adaptive is the same as the oil, it's the calming blend. It really tames the anxiousness. It's the chill pill. And Copaiba is for overall pain and for respiratory support. For hormones and moon cycles, the PMS relief bath that I told you guys about is amazing. I'm going to do one tonight before I go to bed. Page 164 in Dr. Marisa Snyder's book. It's amazing. I'll remind you 2 drops clary sage, 1 drop Roman chamomile, 1 drop geranium, 1 drop lavender. I love Dr. Snyder. She's amazing. For those of you who are in our Essential Sisters Oil Love group, Christine and I did an interview with her last July. It's in there if you search it. She's amazing. Also a really good Instagram follow. She's so upbeat and so knowledgeable. Clary Calm Roller is incredible for any stage of the hormonal journey. I often will gift it to friends of mine whose daughters have just gotten their period. I recommend it to my customers who have teenage daughters. I have completely shifted from painkillers to Clary Calm. I roll it across my lower abdomen once a day for general hormonal balancing, but once an hour, pretty much, when I'm on my moon cycle. Another great blend for women, it's called the Hormone Synergy Blend. I am in love with this blend. I have it on me all the time. I roll it on the back of my neck frequently, and it just totally balances me out when I'm a bit all over the map. Basically, in those moments where women, for some reason, were trained to say, oh, I must be hormonal, right? Those moments is when you use the roller. So that one is also in this book with Marisa Snyder. It's called the Hormone Synergy Rollerball Blend. It's on page 163. Clary sage, lavender, geranium, bergamot, and ylang ylang. You can make your own 10 ml roller with some fractionated coconut oil. I love this one on the inside of my ankles and the back of my neck, any time of day. So good. The other 2 supplements that I wanted to tell you guys about, so doTERRA has created like basically a trio for women. It's called the doTERRA Women products. It's the Clary Calm Roller, the phytoestrogen complex, they're capsules, and the bone nutrient complex, also capsules. I take the phytoestrogen complex and the bone nutrient complex with dinner as a part of my overall womanly well-being. The phytoestrogen complex is going to rinse bad estrogen out of the body, and the bone nutrient complex is really, really nice. I mean, obviously it's for bone density and bone health, but it's really nice. It's very calming. I really enjoy that one. I take 2 of each. Diffusing, bedside, lately, black spruce, grounding, it's the oil of grounding, with eucalyptus and frankincense. And I just wanted to read to you guys black spruce. I just realized I forgot to talk about oils for the face, so we'll come back to that because I use black spruce on my face. So if you don't know this, there's this great book called, hang on, get it open from here. It's called Essential Emotions. It used to be called Emotions and Essential Oils. They changed the name, but this is the latest edition. And what's great about the latest edition and the book in general is that you can look up an oil and you can learn about the emotional properties of the oil. So black spruce, you can see here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the oil of stability. The other cool thing about this book is you can flip to the back and you can look up physical conditions, and it will tell you, or sorry, emotional conditions, not physical conditions, emotional conditions, and it will tell you which oils to use, which is awesome. So it's quite profound, this book. I'm going to read to you what black spruce is and why I'm using it these days. I've been using it on my face for a couple of months, but now I understand why I'm using it. Black spruce is both grounding and stabilizing. Of all the grounding oils, the spruces are the most effective. Spruces are especially helpful in times of crisis, shock, or trauma. During such experiences, a person's energy may splinter, causing emotional disruption. These trees stabilize an individual's energy, helping them return to a grounded, balanced state. Black spruce has mastered the art of energy conservation and endurance. Black spruce trees teach individuals how to regulate their physical energy by listening to their body's rhythms and needs. Black spruce models how to persevere through the storms of life by drawing strength from one's own roots. It offers a model of vitality and longevity through living in harmony with nature's cycles and seasons. Spruce can also assist individuals who feel depleted of energy to renew themselves. It helps those who struggle with extreme moods to find balance and moderation. Black spruce is an ally in dealing with fear, especially subconscious generational fears. That was my inroad, by the way, to this one. All individuals hold genetic and DNA memories from the generations that have gone on before. At times, individuals may struggle under the weight of fears that didn't even originate with them. Black spruce helps them gain clarity about fear-based memories and release them from the mind and body, freeing themselves and others in the process. So the way that I found the diffuser blend of black spruce, eucalyptus, and frankincense is I decided I wanted to use black spruce. So I used black spruce. Then, some of you have seen me do this. I got my Modern Essentials book and I looked up black spruce. This is how I blend. It's super fun. So I looked up black spruce, and at the very bottom right here, it has a category that says blends well with. Is it blends well with? Blends with. Blends with. And it says eucalyptus, frankincense, helichrysum, and wintergreen. So I thought, eucalyptus and frankincense sound nice. And then I looked at the emotional properties and so forth. And I thought, wow, that sounds really nice. So for those of you who are curious, eucalyptus is the oil of total wellness, and frankincense is the oil of truth. The other go-tos in our house, especially for the kids, are Serenity and On Guard, depending on the size of the room. 2 drops On Guard, 1 drop Serenity, or more. And then one that I've been really loving for the last sort of 6 months that's been working really nicely for us, and I like to change it up. I think it's really important to change it up. Vetiver, tangerine, lavender, and frankincense. So I'll come back to the face. The oils that I use on my face at nighttime, again, I alternate. I don't use the same one every night. Lavender for overall everything for the skin. Glow, tone, everything. It's an amazing oil for the face, and I love the way it makes me feel when I put lavender on my face. Feels really good. Start with 1 drop and always use a carrier oil with it. I find fractionated coconut oil isn't moisturizing enough, isn't hydrating enough for me. So I've started to use a different oil. It's a blend by Juice Beauty, and you can buy it online in Canada and in the US. And it's called their organic face oil. And so it's just a nice mix of different carrier oils, and I find it's very, very hydrating. It comes in a really nice little dropper bottle. I don't add more oils into the bottle. I add the oil to my hand, and then I drop in the lavender. So I do 2 drops of lavender now. Tea tree I do every once in a while for a nice astringent cleanse of my face, to get into my pores. For those of you who are prone to acne or who have teenagers, literally putting spot treatment of either copaiba or tea tree right on the spots is really, really successful. I use frankincense sometimes with lavender, 1 drop of each, for cell regeneration. I love blue tansy. It gives you like a Smurf face. You actually turn blue. Start with 1 drop. I'm up to 2 now. And it really, really has taken down the red tones of my face. Like I usually have a lot of redness here and here, or typically I did before I started using it, here and here. And I've noticed a massive shift since I started using blue tansy. Took me a while to like the smell of it, but I love it now. And then black spruce. I use it for dark spots. So I typically have some dark like sunspots if I've been out in the sun on the side of my face. And the black spruce really keeps the dark spots down. But again, over time, it will start to work. It takes time. There's another great ritual that I love to do. It's so relaxing in this book, again. It's called the facial pressure point massage. So I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. I still have to follow it because I haven't mastered the habit yet. I'm on, I don't know, probably like 2 weeks in. And it has like a little drawing with letters and numbers. It's very, very easy to follow. And it's like a massage on all the facial pressure points. So you do your eye pressure points, you start with your inner eye socket, your mid eyebrow, your temples, under the eyes, your nose pressure points. Have you guys ever had a facial where they do all the different pressure points on your face? So this is basically do it yourself. You always use your ring fingers because they're the least strong finger. So you're not mashing your face. And then you do your nose pressure points, and then your cheekbone pressure points, your jawline, your middle of your cheek. It relieves a lot of tension in the face. It's pretty amazing. It's like, and you just follow along. And it feels, this one's really good. When you push right beside your nose, and you give it a good push, and you'll just feel those pressure points in your jaw and your face. I'll photograph that one for you guys too. It's awesome. Okay, last but not least. We talked about tapping. I'm a big fan of purge writing. The technique is called PEW 12. Grab a notebook, set a timer for 12 minutes, and basically just purge anything that needs to come out. And for me, a lot of the time, it's kind of nonsense. It's like scratching the page and scribbling and drawing and cursing or whatever it is that comes up. You get it out of your body. So journaling is one thing, but this is like purging. Like you're just purging words out of your body that match energy that's sitting in your system. You do it for 12 minutes. And then when you're done, you don't go back and read it. You rip it out of your notebook, or you just take the piece of paper, you shred it up, you tear it up. That's very cathartic. And you either burn it, which isn't available to most of us, or just throw it in the garbage. It's called purge writing. Anytime that you feel like full and that you're going to freak out, or that you can't handle, like you're like a pressurized tank, the purge writing is amazing. And then as you get used to it and it becomes a ritual, you actually don't pressurize anymore because you've been doing the purge writing. Yoga Glow has a great variety of prepare for sleep practices ranging from 3 to 30 minutes. My favorite is Rod Stryker. He's a teacher of mine. His practice called Prep for Deep Sleep. It's 20 minutes. By far the best before bed practice I've ever done for calming down my central nervous system. But again, if I'm super amped, I may need to do something first, like the one I was talking about with Tiffany Cruikshank, where I'm actually getting into my fascia and relaxing myself. If you can kind of relate to that. Another great practice is a gratitude practice. So again, like I said, if you're going to pick one thing from all the things that I've talked about, if you're going to do a gratitude practice, take that one thing, which is the gratitude practice, and do it for 21 days and see what happens. So what I do for my gratitude practice is I write down as many things that I can think of that I'm grateful for in sort of a 3 to 5 minute span. You can also just do 3 things or 10 things or whatever feels right to you. But there's something really special about the act of pen to paper rather than just doing it in your head. There's something very specific about that act that really heals. The other thing that was taught to me by a woman who I worked with for a couple of months, a couple of years ago, and it really, really stuck with me, it's called prouds. So you take your notebook and you write down 3 things, just 3 things that you're proud of that you did today. And if you want to take it to the next level, you can email it to me. Share it with a friend, share it with me. I'm happy to be on the receiving end of your prouds. I would love to hear them. And that's what she did with me. So every night for about 90 days, I sent her 3 things that I was proud of myself. And during that time, sometimes it was I took a shower. And sometimes it was something much different than that. So it doesn't have to be anything magnificent. It's just a great way to get yourself shifted out of that space of, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I suck at this, I suck at that, I'm mad at this, I'm at all those things, that sort of wheel that you spin right as you're going to sleep. Maybe you don't. I certainly did. The prouds is awesome for that, because you're like, I'm proud of myself. I'm doing a good job, right? I'm doing a good job. I love and accept myself completely. And finally, I am a real fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I was actually supposed to be traveling to see him today in Spain for 10 days for an advanced mindset retreat. Clearly that was canceled. And for whatever reason, we're not meant to be together right now. We will be together. I know we will. He has some incredible meditations for all levels, totally doable for all levels. They may seem a little bit like, a lot of people that first do them are like, ooh, that was really different. But I would highly recommend. He takes you into some really, really deep states in the quantum field. His work is all science-based, which is not something I'm normally attracted to, but in this case, it is like rocking my world right now. So it's a little bit difficult to find his meditations. So what you have to do is you have to go onto his website, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and then you have to find the meditations, and then you buy the audio downloads and then download them to your device. They're not available on the other things. So again, I just wanted to remind you that it's important to tell yourself you're doing a good job, and to consider letting go of high expectations of yourself today, tomorrow, during this very uncertain time, if not forever, and embracing the beauty of your imperfections. And I guess I wanted to close today with the reminder, again, to not feel overwhelmed from all the notes that you took or all the things that you're not doing or whatever. Just know that step by step, one thing at a time, building habits one at a time rather than 10 at a time is the most successful way to do it. And knowing, in the words of Dr. Joe Dispenza, that our brains are highly, highly resistant to change, even when it's a positive change, like actually loving yourself and taking care of yourself and putting lavender on your face or frankincense on your body, or On Guard on your feet. Our brain, when we try to introduce new things, new habits, whether it's celery juice or working out once a week, our brain does not want us to do it. Our brains really, really want things to stay normal. They want things to stay status quo and comfortable. So in knowing that your brain doesn't like change, the best thing you can do is talk to your mind, talk to your brain. So when you start to feel that resistance, like, no, I don't have time for the lavender on my face, I don't deserve the hair mask, Who has half an hour to do Tiffany Cruikshank's lower back rolling? I have way more important things to do. Whatever it is that your brain is doing it and it doesn't want you to do it. Talk to your brain the same way that I talked about loving your body parts. Tell your brain, it's okay. This is the new way. The old way is no longer. It's safe to go here. It's okay. I want this. It's okay. It's safe to do this. We no longer need to be the old way. We can let that go. Hi, boys. Okay, so in any moment that you feel resistance to change, which could be a lot right now, talk to your brain, give it some love, let it know that it's okay. Change is okay, and you can get really, really specific and talk to it with love. I think that's it. I wanted to pull a card today. Do you guys want me to pull a card for the group? Yeah? I've got, these are Gabby Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back cards. These are the ones Gabrielle picked. I asked her to pick a deck for us. So I'll give it a little shuffle. And as I shuffle them, I'm going to give them a little tap so that it clears for our group, the energy. And then as I rub my fingers around the side, you guys can all send your energy to the cards. And then I'm going to take the cards across my heart. And I invite you to ask with me, which card do we need as a collective tonight? Please guide Emily's hands to that card. All right, here we go. My outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. There she is. So thanks, you guys. I'm gonna stop recording.